Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome once again to my channel. If this is your first time, please hit the subscribe button, and if you are a regular visitor and you're already subscribed, don't forget to hit the like button. It goes a long way to make my channel grow, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to, drop a comment. Thank you. So I've been away for like about a few weeks now because I had a boxing match I was preparing for. It was a very nice match, and it took my time, having to prepare, practice and train, so I didn't have enough time or concentration to make a YouTube video. But now I'm back here, and I wanted to make a video on my PhD experience, a part 2 to the video I made before, but I felt like there's something else that needed to be discussed. So yesterday night I was on Nairaland. I was scrolling through. I normally go to Nairaland, every now and then, because it represents a way for me to quickly catch up on Nigerian news. Anything that's important in terms of Nigerian news, you can always find it on Nairaland. So instead of going through just a random Google search or watching Channels TV or something like that, I just go to Nairaland and scroll through the news. And if there's anything I find interesting, I can go on YouTube to check if Channels or any other news station has done any video on this kind of stuff. So I was on Nairaland yesterday scrolling through, and I came across a very sad news about a student in Mapoly. This guy in Mapoly, he woke up in the midnight. Apparently he was screaming, "My money is in the well, my money is in the well," and he jumped out of his his bed and he ran to the well in the hostel. And what did he do? He jumped into this well. Before help could come, the guy had already died, and this is a very, very sad story. So I was interested in reading the perspectives of Nigerians regarding this story on Nairaland, and what I saw, really, really scared me. It scared and it scarred me. It showed me the level to which the Nigerian mind has decayed. It showed me the mental cancer that many Nigerians are suffering through. You can have physical cancer, which is a very bad affliction, but believe me, cancer of the mind may even be worse than the physical cancer. And it's sad that Nairaland, which is a site used predominantly by the youth of Nigeria, is populated with such comments. It tells me something, or it tells us something about the mind of the Nigerian youth. So what are the kind of things I saw in the comment section? Some people said, "Oh, he's a Yahoo boy, it's good for him." Some people said things like village people have been chasing him. Some people said things like, "Don't worry, he will spend the money on his way to heaven or hell." So there were comments about being a Yahoo boy, there were comments about being a juju guy doing money rituals, and there were all these kind of funny comments, or not funny, I mean comments trying to be funny, basically, that people were making about this kind of serious issue. Some people even used the smiling emoji, and I was very, very shocked and scared, and I thought I should quickly make a video about this. There was only one comment in that video, only one, where someone said probably this guy had a manic episode, and I was like, wow, amidst all this cancer, there's one reasonable comment. So I just thought I should make a brief video about this. Emphasize again the fact that in Nigeria, people don't take mental health seriously. People don't talk about it, and when people talk about it, it's often trivialized. I expected that on that forum, with the level of the fact that people there are youth, I thought there would be a much more sensible approach to the topic. It was all about village people and other stupid things. So the thing really bothered me, and it made me quite sad, and it just reminded me of my own experience with mental health issues. I remember around the end of 2013 and early 2014, I decided that, okay, let me go and see a therapist, because I was feeling, going through depression and stuff like that. So I searched online for therapists. I searched and searched. It was very hard to find something. Eventually, I found that there was an NGO at Yaba, close to the Unila campus shuttle area, where they used to be before. I don't know where they are now, but where they used to be at that time. And this NGO, they offered mental health counseling and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, let me go and try it. When I got to the place, I was disappointed. I thought they would have professionals on ground who you could talk to, but on ground there were two people, a guy and a lady. The lady apparently had a BSc in psychology. She even had first class, but she was just doing this NGO job as a part-time stuff to get some money before she processed her, admission abroad and move out of Nigeria. And the other guy, I didn't even know his profile. He was just there. So I sat down with them, and then they were They were asking me nonsense. They were asking me things about religion, asking me how close I am to God, this kind of stuff. You know, I was like, I'm going through depression. I'm trying to seek a professional perspective, and all I can get is stuff about being close to God. Are you guys for real? You know, so I sat down there. At some point, you know, they were rambling and rambling. And at some point, the lady said, you know what, the best thing might be to bring your father here. Bring your father here. Let us talk to both of you, you know. I was wondering, what can my father do in this particular case, you know. So I spent about 2 hours there. At some point, I even lost interest in the whole stuff, and we began chatting. I forgot about my mental health problem. So maybe that's their strategy. Strategy is to make you so frustrated, you begin to even find the whole thing funny, and you don't feel bad anymore, and you feel balanced for some time. So I left the place, and I tried to look for something else. Just in the meantime, just to mention, that lady that I met there, she finally got her admission to a school in America, and now she's doing a PhD in psychology in America. And it's scary. For me, it's scary. If someone who has a degree, you know, in this field doesn't know that she's not yet qualified to give mental health advice, but still gives it nevertheless, what will happen when she has a PhD? How qualified is she going to be? Is she just doing it to just have a PhD and say, oh, I'm a doctor? Or is she doing it because she has a genuine interest in helping people? Time will tell. So I went back home and I started to do my Google search, and I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't try Yaba. Yaba is a middle class area, you know. And we used to live at Alagbado, and we still live at Alagbado. I said, you know what? I won't even try Alagbado. There will never be a mental health professional in Alagbado. People in Alagbado want to just eat and survive. Nobody has time for mental health, you know. So I decided that, oh, you know what? Let me focus my search in the highbrow areas. Let me focus in Lekki, Victoria Island, Aja. Rich people live here. Where rich people live, the quality of medical or mental health care or whatever it is you want will be higher. So I searched and searched for a therapist, and I found a lady at Lekki. After Lekki phase 1, after second roundabout, you know, I forgot the name of the bus stop. Maybe it's Ibuefon or something like that. So I finally found this lady, and I went there. When I got there, I met the secretary. She told me that the fee to see the therapist, the woman who runs the practice, the fee is 20,000 naira, and that was around ending 2013 or early 2014. So 20,000 was a big deal for me, and it was also a big deal back then. So I brought out this money and I paid. You know, it was very big for me. I paid the money, and I finally got to my turn to see the lady, the therapist. So I got there, I sat down with her, I started to talk about all my issues. When it came to time for her to speak, the core of her speech was to tell me, you need to get closer to God. That's the only way out. You need to pray, you need to fast, you need to be closer to God generally. Everything you can do. Stop committing sin, avoid sin as much as possible, and stuff like that. You know, at this point in my life, I was very religious, you know. So, but even then, in spite of the fact that I was very religious, I still found the advice a bit, you know, weird. Like, I thought I was going to get professional help, because when it came to the praying and all that part, I knew that by myself. I knew, okay, yeah, I would like to pray and this and that as a religious person, but I didn't expect her to give me that kind of advice. But sadly, that's what she gave to me, you know. And I left the place disappointed, you know. Felt like I wasted my 20,000 naira. And this woman had a PhD in psychology and or whatever it is, clinical psychology, you know. She had a PhD, so I thought I would get quality for my money, but I didn't. So basically, that just represents the status quo in Nigeria. You see, people who you expect to have the knowledge and the experience, when it comes to time for them to speak and to advise you, they give you the irrelevant advice. They tell you the wrong things, and you end up even more confused than when you started out. And so it makes me realize that I shouldn't expect more from people who are not even qualified to speak. And that's why you go on Naira Land and you see comments like the comments made in the comment section of that guy. Comment. So you see this kind of stuff, and it saddens you. So for me, even without a degree in psychology or whatever it is, I know that that guy who jumped into the river, he probably suffered a manic episode, like somebody rightly pointed out on Naira Land. The guy probably had some problems, mental health issues. He never got help for this because there was no way to get help for this. Most likely his parents are poor. Most likely they can't even afford to take him anywhere to seek help. Most likely if you go and seek help at the psychiatric hospital in Abeokuta Aro, people will come and tell you that you are mad, you know, Aro is for mad people and things like that, you know. So there's this stigma attached to mental health, and these things should change. Even people who claim to be mental health advocates in Nigeria, you know, when you tell them your stories, if your relationship with them sours, they begin to use your mental health issues to mock you. When you tell them your stories, they tell you to go and pray. When you tell them your stories, they tell you that you're too small, nothing's wrong with you. Go and continue living your life. And that's the reason why many youth are committing suicide, many people are dying, and we don't know. So I thought I should make this quickly and put it out there. It's a call for every one of us to realize that mental health issues are very, very important, and it shouldn't be trivialized. People who are going through different kind of issues mentally should not be made fun of. You wouldn't make fun of a cancer patient. You wouldn't make fun of somebody who is suffering from I don't know, some other syndrome that manifests itself physically. You wouldn't make fun of them. So why make fun of people with mental health issues? So without ranting too much, that's the video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know what your thoughts on this issue. Ciao.